I want to talk to you a little bit about free buzzing, lip buzzing. There seems to be a lot of chatter going on the internet about that right now. And what I want you to understand is that from my point of view, there are a few good things you can achieve using a limited amount in a specific way, and there are some more negative things you can achieve. However, there have been some really great players who have used it to build their chops, and there have been some players who've gone through some real struggles as a result of doing it improperly. Now, first of all, I'm just going to buzz in a relaxation form, and the form I use to get the blood flowing and open up my chops. All right, are you hearing that in there? I hope you can with this microphone in this noisy room. The second kind of free buzzing is what I did for a long time when I was studying with Mr. Schilke, is I was compressing my lips against my teeth, pulling that top lip up parallel with the top teeth edges, see that right there? And thinning out the lip and getting this kind of a sound. And at that point in my life, I could buzz pretty well up to F or a G above high C by that stretching movement. It thinned out my lips over a point of time, eventually from going up high and playing a large mouthpiece very loudly over and over, and finally led to a muscle separation here because I was doing that incorrectly. Now the other thing you can do is you can buzz and bring your chops slightly in toward the center and pooch them out like that and bring them toward the mouthpiece, the imaginary mouthpiece. Okay, that's very hard for me because it's so foreign to the way I play. But you can see I am bringing them in and getting a little isometric contraction there from the side. There's a third way that I haven't seen anybody really talk about, and that's where you actually use your finger to stabilize your top lip, much like the rim would do in the mouthpiece. Now I'm going to put my finger just above my lip. Okay, now can you see when I put that finger on there, whoops, it's going to move just below the top teeth edges. All right, now normally when I'm talking you can see my teeth, right? All right, so when I play I've got to make sure that that line right in here is somewhere at the bottom of my teeth so that I've got that lower lip down and exposed to the air. Okay, does that make sense to you? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buzz. I will buzz the way that I play. I won't stretch it in like this, and I won't pucker it out like that. I'll pretty much let happen what happens. And I'll get some pretty good strengthening exercises way back here. Now what I'm feeling is pretty good work back here, and that masseter muscle's coming down there. It's kind of fighting things. I've got my teeth open, so I know I got air through there. I can feel it hitting, and I kind of get a little bit of an elephant sound. And when I finish, the areas that I usually feel when I play are being worked, and they're being worked pretty good isometrically, you know. So I consider that a plus. I just want to warn you, don't be thinning your lips out and stretching and pulling back. And if you are puckering in like this, avoid the temptation. See, what I'm doing is I'm tightening that middle red part of my lip. Now really the only way you can tighten that is to bring things together. But when you do, you notice my lips are rolling out. Now what's happening is that vibration is on the inner moist part of my lip, and it gives me kind of a blast sound, gives me a very loud sound, and it's difficult to control moving around. Now, if I roll them all the way in, you can see what happens. The lower lip comes in underneath the top one, and as I go up, those teeth are going to want to close to keep the compression going, and eventually those top teeth are going to hit this bottom lip, kind of like that underneath there, and it cuts the sound off. All right. So some of you, as you go on higher, and you just get thinner and thinner and thinner, and then the sound stops. That's probably what's happening to you. So if you'll go to grawlin.com, grawlin.com, there's a lot more there about the system I use, and it's called AirPlay. It's a modified Stevens system, and it's got a little Herbert L. Clark in it and a little Claude Gordon in it, and it's a more middle of the road. We're learning how to use our air correctly so that our throats are open and relaxed, and we're not forcing things and getting a lot of back pressure. But I thought you would enjoy seeing just these few different buzzes. And don't be fooled by people who can buzz up into the stratosphere and way back down low. There are some guys on the internet that I've seen who are great buzzers. And when they put that on their lip, they're doing exactly the same thing into the mouthpiece. But here's the catch. First of all, they've painted themselves in a box where they're not allowing the true sound of the horn and the mouthpiece to come out. It's kind of like if I were to sing like this, ye, he, woo, ye. You know, you've heard that sound before where people are tense back here, as opposed to just ha. All right, that's easy to do, and it's flexible, and you can move it all over. You can play symphonically, you can play lead, you can play jazz, you can play, you know, any style you want, because you have a relaxed open aperture, and you can allow the sound to come from a natural core and not be contrived up here. Now, a lot of people say, well, Clark Terry did a lot of that with his lip. You know, he'd change his sound all the way over and sound like he was talking. No, if you watch him closely, he's very relaxed in through here, and he's doing all that with his tongue. Okay? Now, he had a very special skill that worked great for him, and a lot of players can do it. I'm not one of them, where they can, you know, some people get started into that with a doodle tongue, you know, and, you know, sometimes I wish I could do that, but I don't. So what you're going to take away from this is some positive things, just flapping. You can see what happens to my lips when they flap. Another interesting thing you'll see when I flap too, see how it's trying to come out one side? Well, the reason it does that is because I have, the way my teeth are formed, that's where the air naturally can evacuate the easiest. It's like if you got a crowd running through, running for a bunch of gymnasium doors, and here's a single door and a single door and a single door, and then over here there's a big triple or quadruple door that opens up. Well, it's all going to rush out there, and that's what happens with your chops. It's going to follow where the air evacuates normally. That does not necessarily mean that you have to put the center of your mouthpiece on one side or the other, you know, wherever it's going. Some players do, some players don't. But I've gotten a little bit off track here. I just hope you enjoyed this about free buzzing. And again, go to grawlin.com, check out the DVD AirPlay, and have fun playing, but be careful.